The argument had been building for weeks. Small things at first. Her phone always face down on the counter. Late nights at the gym that somehow never resulted in her actually working out. The way she'd pull away when I tried to kiss her goodnight. I'm not stupid. I've been around long enough to recognize the signs. That Tuesday evening, I came home from my shift at the warehouse to find her in the kitchen, scrolling through her phone with that little smile. The one she used to give me. Past tense. "We need to talk," I said, setting my keys on the counter. She didn't even look up. "About what?" "About whoever you're texting." That got her attention. Her head snapped up, eyes wide for just a second before the defensiveness kicked in. "Excuse me? Are you seriously accusing me of something right now?" I pulled out my phone and opened the photos I'd taken that morning. Screenshots of messages I'd seen on her laptop before she closed it. Nothing explicit, but enough. Inside jokes with someone named Derek. Late night conversations. Plans to meet up. "Who's Derek?" Her face went pale, then red. "You went through my stuff? Are you kidding me right now?" "Answer the question." "He's a friend from college. We reconnected on social media." "It's nothing." I laughed. Actually laughed. "Nothing. Right. Friends don't text each other at 2 in the morning about how much they miss seeing each other." She stood up, chair scraping against the tile. "You have no right to invade my privacy like that. This is exactly why we have problems. You're controlling and paranoid." "I'm paranoid because you gave me every reason to be." I kept my voice level. Calm. I'd learned a long time ago that staying cool drove people like her crazy. "You want to talk about problems? Let's talk about how you haven't touched me in 3 weeks. How you suddenly need to go to Target at 9 at night. How your gym sessions somehow take 3 hours. Maybe I don't want to be touched by someone who doesn't trust me. Trust is earned. You stopped earning it about 2 months ago." She grabbed her wine glass and took a long drink, buying time. I could see her brain working, trying to figure out how to spin this. "Fine. Yes, I've been talking to Derek. He actually listens to me. He makes me feel appreciated. Something you haven't done in years." There it was. The shift. Now I was the bad guy. I work 50 hours a week to keep a roof over our heads. I do the grocery shopping because you can't be bothered. I cook dinner 4 nights out of 7. But sure, I'm the one who doesn't appreciate you. She slammed the glass down. "You want to know the truth? Fine. Here's the truth." Something in her voice changed. Sharper. Meaner. "Derek was my boyfriend before you. We dated for 2 years. And honestly," she looked me straight in the eyes, "he was better in bed than you'll ever be. I still think about him." There. "You happy now?" The room went silent except for the hum of the refrigerator. I didn't yell. Didn't throw anything. Didn't give her the reaction she was clearly expecting. Instead, I nodded slowly. "Okay." That threw her off. "Okay. That's all you have to say. What else is there to say?" I walked past her toward the bedroom. "You just told me everything I needed to know. Where are you going?" "Packing." She followed me down the hall. "Wait. What? You're leaving?" "Over this." I pulled my duffel bag out of the closet and started grabbing clothes. Jeans. Shirts. Socks. The essentials. "You just compared me to your ex and told me he was better. In what world did you think I'd stick around after that?" I was angry. People say things when they're angry. Yeah, they do. I zipped up the bag. They say what they've been thinking all along. Her tone shifted again. Softer now. Manipulative. "Baby, come on. Let's just calm down and talk about this." I didn't mean it. I was just trying to hurt you because you hurt me by going through my messages. I grabbed my toiletries from the bathroom. Toothbrush. Deodorant. Razor. You hurt me way before tonight. Tonight you just made it easy for me to leave. You're being ridiculous. Where are you even going to go? Not your problem anymore. I walked back through the living room, bag over my shoulder. She was standing there in the middle of the kitchen, arms crossed, face twisted between anger and disbelief. "If you walk out that door, don't expect me to be here when you decide to come crawling back." I stopped at the door and turned to look at her one last time. "I won't be coming back. Ever. Enjoy thinking about Derek." I walked out and closed the door behind me. My phone started buzzing before I even got to my truck. I ignored it, started the engine, pulled out of the driveway. 3 years of marriage, gone in one sentence. And honestly, I felt lighter than I had in months. I called my buddy Trevor on the way. "Hey man, I know it's late, but can I crash on your couch for a few days?" "Yeah, of course. Everything okay?" "It will be." That night, lying on Trevor's couch in my work clothes, I made a decision. No going back. No second chances. No letting her manipulate me into thinking I was overreacting. She'd shown me exactly who she was, and I believed her. Trevor's apartment was small but clean. One bedroom, a couch that had seen better days, and a kitchen barely big enough for two people. He worked nights as a security guard, so most mornings he was asleep when I left for my warehouse shift. The first thing I did the next morning was call a lawyer. Found one through a quick search, nothing fancy. His name was Mr. Garrett, and his office was in a strip mall between a nail salon and a tax prep place. "How long were you married?" he asked, pen ready over a yellow legal pad. 3 years. Together for 5 total. "Any kids?" "No." "Property?" "We rent. Lease is in both our names. Ends in 4 months." He nodded, scribbling notes. "That makes things simpler. Any joint accounts?" "Checking account. About 2,000 in it. Savings has maybe 500. I'd recommend opening your own account today and transferring your half. Legal and clean. Do you have proof of the affair?" I showed him the screenshots. He looked them over, expressionless. "These help, but they're not explicit enough to prove infidelity in court. Doesn't matter much in a no-fault state anyway. What matters is we file first and we file fast. I can have papers ready by Friday." "Do it." My phone had been buzzing nonstop since I left. 43 messages by noon. I skimmed through them on my lunch break, sitting in my truck eating a sandwich from the gas station. The messages followed a pattern. First came the anger. "You're being childish. This is exactly why we have problems." Running away like always. Then the guilt trips. "I can't believe you'd throw away our marriage over one fight. After everything we've been through. I thought you loved me." By evening, desperation. "Please just talk to me. We can fix this." I didn't mean what I said. I responded once. Simple and direct. "My lawyer will contact you soon. All communication goes through him from now on." She called immediately. I declined. She called again. I blocked the number. Trevor got home around 2 in the morning. I was still awake, scrolling through job listings on my phone. The warehouse paid the bills, but barely. If I was starting over, maybe it was time to aim higher. "You good?" he asked, dropping his keys on the counter. "Getting there." "She's still blowing up your phone?" Blocked her. He grabbed a beer from the fridge and sat down in the recliner. "Good. That's the move. My ex tried the same thing when I left. 2 weeks of baby please, and I'll change before she finally got the message." "How'd you handle it?" "Stopped responding. They want a reaction. Don't give them one." Smart advice. Friday came. Mr. Garrett called me at work. "Papers are filed. She'll be served on Monday. Expect it to get messy." She already made it messy. They always do. But you're in a good position. No kids, short marriage, no major assets. We push this through. You could be done in 3 months. Monday afternoon, my phone lit up with a restricted number. I let it ring. Then a text from a number I didn't recognize. "This is messed up. You're really divorcing me without even trying to work things out?" After 3 years. I saved the number as "Do Not Answer" and deleted the message. At work, people started noticing changes. I showed up early, stayed late when they needed someone for overtime. My supervisor, Kyle, pulled me aside during a break. "You all right, man? You've been grinding harder than usual." "Just refocusing." "This about your wife?" "Trevor mentioned you've been staying with him." I didn't elaborate. "Going through some things. Work helps." He nodded. "Well, keep it up. We've got a lead position opening next month if you're interested. Pays $3 more an hour." "I'll take it." $3 an hour was an extra $500 a month. That was the difference between barely scraping by and actually having breathing room. That evening, I went to the bank and opened my own account. Transferred exactly half of what was in our joint checking. $1,000. It wasn't much, but it was mine. My phone buzzed again. Another unknown number. "You took money out of our account? Are you serious right now?" I smiled and blocked the number. Trevor came home that night with pizza. We sat on his couch watching some action movie, and for the first time in months, I felt something close to peace. "You know what's crazy?" I said between slices. "What?" "I don't miss her. Not even a little bit. I miss the idea of being married. The stability. But her specifically? No. That's how you know you made the right call." He was right. My lawyer called Wednesday. "She's making noise about wanting to talk directly." I told her no. Everything goes through me. She also asked if you'd consider counseling. Absolutely not. That's what I figured. I'll let her lawyer know. By the end of the second week, the messages slowed down. She tried a few more times through mutual friends, but I shut that down fast. One text to everyone we knew together. "If she asks you to talk to me, the answer is no." This is between me and my lawyer now. Clear, direct, no room for interpretation. I spent my evenings looking at rental houses in better neighborhoods, places with 2 bedrooms, so I could have space to breathe, maybe even get a dog. I'd always wanted one, but she'd said no. Too much work. Funny how many little compromises I'd made that I was just now realizing. Trevor noticed me browsing listings one night. You thinking about getting your own place already? Eventually. You've been great, but I need to stand on my own. No rush, man. Stay as long as you need. But I did need my own space. Not because Trevor wasn't good company. Because I needed to prove to myself I could do this. Rebuild from scratch. And I would. 2 months went by faster than I expected. I found a place to rent with a guy from work named Carson. 3-bedroom house in a decent neighborhood, 15 minutes from the warehouse. We split the rent down the middle, which left me with enough to actually save a little each month. First time in years I had money left over after bills. Carson was quiet, kept to himself mostly. He worked the morning shift while I worked afternoons, so we barely saw each other. Perfect roommate situation. The house had a small backyard, which meant I finally got that dog I wanted. Found him at the shelter. Some kind of terrier mix, maybe 3 years old. The shelter staff said his previous owners moved and couldn't take him. Their loss. I named him Rookie. Work was going better too. I got that lead position Kyle mentioned. $3 more an hour plus occasional bonuses for hitting productivity targets. It wasn't a fortune, but it felt good to be moving up instead of just treading water. My lawyer called every couple weeks with updates. The divorce was moving along. She tried to contest a few things, drag it out, but there wasn't much to fight over. No house, no kids, barely any assets. Her lawyer knew it was a losing battle. She asked again about meeting face to face. Mr. Garrett said during one call. Still no. That's what I told her. She's not happy about it. Not my problem. And it wasn't. I'd learned that lesson the hard way. Her emotions, her regrets, her problems were no longer mine to solve. Friday nights became a thing. Trevor, Carson, and a few guys from work would meet up at this dive bar called Murphy's. Nothing fancy. Pool table in the back, cheap beer, sports on TV. The kind of place where everybody knew your name, but nobody asked too many questions. One night, Trevor's cousin Bridget showed up with a friend. Her name was Nina. She worked as a dental hygienist, had a laugh that could fill a room, and didn't play games. We talked for maybe an hour. Nothing heavy. Work, dogs, the fact that Murphy's had the best wings in town. Normal stuff. She gave me her number when she left. Text me sometime, if you want. I did. Nothing serious, just casual conversation. How was your day? What are you up to this weekend? It felt easy, natural, the opposite of how things had been with my ex toward the end. My ex. She hadn't completely given up trying to reach me. Every few weeks, a new number would pop up with a message. Can we please just talk? I made a mistake, but so did you. You're being cruel. I blocked each number without responding. Then came the attempts through other people. Her sister called me one Sunday morning. She's really struggling, Angela said. Can't you at least hear her out? No. You were together for 5 years. That has to mean something. It did mean something. Past tense. She decided it didn't when she compared me to her ex and told me he was better. Silence on the other end. She said that. Word for word. I didn't know that part. Now you do. I'm moving on. She should too. Angela didn't call back after that. One Saturday, I took Nina to this little Mexican place near her apartment. Nothing expensive, just good food and conversation. We talked about everything. Her job, my job, bad roommate stories, the fact that her car made a weird noise every time she turned left. You're different than I expected, she said over chips and salsa. How so? Trevor mentioned you were going through a divorce. Most guys in that situation are either bitter or desperate. You're neither. I don't have time to be bitter. And I'm definitely not desperate. She smiled. I can tell. It's refreshing. We started seeing each other more after that. Nothing rushed. Just 2 people enjoying each other's company without all the drama and games. Meanwhile, my ex kept trying. She showed up at the warehouse one afternoon during my shift. Security stopped her at the front desk, called me down. I could see her through the glass doors. Hair pulled back, no makeup, looking rough. She spotted me and waved, tried to smile. I turned around and walked back to the warehouse floor. My supervisor found me 20 minutes later. Security said some woman was looking for you. They sent her away. Thanks. If she comes back, same thing. Don't let her in. Got it. She tried calling from her actual number that night. I'd never unblocked it, so it went straight to voicemail. She left a message. I deleted it without listening. 3 months in, I was in a completely different headspace. New place, new routine, new possibilities. I'd reconnected with friends I'd lost touch with during the marriage. Started going to the gym in the mornings before work. Even picked up an old hobby, working on cars, something I'd given up because she always complained about the noise and the mess. Carson let me use half the garage. I bought a cheap project truck off Craigslist, spent my Sundays getting it running again. It was therapeutic. Problem solving without emotional baggage. Nina came over one Sunday while I was under the hood. She brought coffee and sat on an overturned bucket, asking questions about what I was doing. You actually understand all this? She asked. Most of it. Learned from my dad when I was a kid. That's attractive. I looked up at her, and she was grinning. What? A guy who can fix things and doesn't need constant validation? That's basically a unicorn. I laughed. Standards must be pretty low these days. You'd be surprised. That night, I got a message from a number I didn't recognize. But this time, it wasn't her trying to reach me directly. It was the beginning of something I definitely didn't see coming. The message came through on a Wednesday afternoon while I was moving pallets at work. Unknown number. This is important. Please don't block this. I need to tell you something. I almost deleted it. My thumb hovered over the screen, but something made me keep reading. I'm pregnant. I stopped walking. Read it again. Derek wants nothing to do with us. He said it's not his problem. I made a terrible mistake. The biggest mistake of my life. Please. I know I don't deserve it, but I need you. 3 more messages followed in quick succession. I was wrong about everything. You were the best thing I ever had, and I threw it away. I can't do this alone. Please just talk to me. 5 minutes. That's all I'm asking. I stood there in the middle of the warehouse, phone in hand, watching the messages come through. Pregnant. With Derek's kid. The same Derek she'd compared me to. The one who was supposedly better than me. And now he wanted nothing to do with her. I felt a lot of things in that moment. Anger. Vindication. A twisted sense of justice. But mostly, I felt nothing. Like watching someone else's drama play out on a TV screen. This wasn't my problem anymore. I blocked the number and got back to work. That evening, sitting on the couch with Rookie curled up next to me, I told Trevor what happened. He let out a low whistle. Pregnant? And the guy bailed. That's what she said. What are you going to do? Nothing. It's not my kid, not my problem. She's probably going to keep trying. Let her try? Doesn't change anything. But Trevor was right. She did keep trying. 2 days later, my mom called. We talked maybe once a month, usually just checking in. This time, her voice had that tone. The one that meant she'd been talking to someone. Your wife called me. Ex-wife. Almost. She said you won't return her calls. That she's in trouble and needs help. I took a breath. Did she tell you why we're getting divorced? She said you had a fight and you left. That it was a misunderstanding. Mom, she told me her ex-boyfriend was better in bed than me. Said she still thinks about him. That's not a misunderstanding. That's disrespect. Silence on the other end. She actually said that to you? Word for word. And now she's pregnant with his kid and he wants nothing to do with her. So she's trying to come back to me. I'm not interested. Oh, honey, I didn't know. She made it sound like you just gave up on the marriage. I gave up when she showed me she never valued it in the first place. I understand. I'm sorry she put you through that. If she calls again, I'll tell her to stop. Thanks, Mom. 3 more unknown numbers over the next week. All blocked without response. Then her father called. I actually answered that one out of respect. Her dad had always been decent to me. Listen, I know things ended badly between you two, he started. But she's my daughter. She's in a tough spot right now. Mr. Caldwell, with all respect, she put herself in that spot. I didn't do this to her. She made her choices. I know. Believe me, I know. She told me what she said to you. That was wrong. But she's pregnant and scared and the father wants nothing to do with it. That's unfortunate. But it's not my responsibility. You were married to her for 3 years. And she spent those 3 years taking me for granted, comparing me to other guys. The second I wasn't useful anymore, she threw me away. Now she wants me back because things didn't work out with someone else. That's not how this works. He was quiet for a moment. You're right. I raised her better than this. I'm sorry she did this to you. I appreciate that. I really do. But I've moved on. She needs to do the same. He didn't argue. Just thanked me for taking the call and hung up. Nina and I were at Murphy's the following Friday when her friend Bridget brought it up. Trevor told me about your ex. That's insane. Yeah, it's been a trip. Are you doing okay with all of it? I took a sip of my beer. Honestly, I'm fine. It confirmed everything I already knew. I made the right call leaving when I did. Nina squeezed my hand under the table. For what it's worth, I think you handled it perfectly. A lot of guys would have gone back out of guilt or obligation. Guilt for what? I didn't get her pregnant. I didn't abandon her. I just refused to be her backup plan. Exactly. And that takes strength. The weekend came and went. No new messages. I figured maybe she'd finally gotten the hint. I was wrong. Monday morning, I was having coffee before work when my phone rang. My lawyer. We need to talk about something. Your ex is trying to delay the divorce proceedings. On what grounds? She's claiming there's a chance of reconciliation, that you haven't given the marriage a fair chance to work things out. I almost laughed. She's pregnant with another guy's kid. How exactly does she think reconciliation is going to work? She's not mentioning the pregnancy in court documents. She's just saying you left abruptly after a fight and won't communicate. Because there's nothing to communicate. We're done. I know that. But she's dragging this out. Probably hoping you'll cave and talk to her. Not happening. How do we shut this down? I file a motion to dismiss her objections. Judge will likely side with us, given the circumstances. But it adds a few weeks to the timeline. Do it. And make it clear that there will be no reconciliation. Ever. Understood. That night, another message from a new number. I know you're getting these. I know you're reading them. Please. I can't do this alone. I made a mistake, but I'm trying to make it right. Just give me a chance to explain. I saved the number under blocked X and added it to my growing list. Carson came home from work and found me in the garage, working on the truck. He grabbed a beer from the mini fridge we kept out there and leaned against the workbench. You good? Yeah. What? You've been out here every night this week. Usually means you're working something out in your head. I wiped my hands on a rag. My ex is pregnant. Not mine. She wants me to take her back. I keep blocking her, but she keeps finding new ways to reach out. That's rough. Not really. Just annoying. Like a mosquito you keep swatting, but it keeps coming back. He smiled. So what's the plan? Same plan as always. Keep moving forward. She'll give up eventually. And if she doesn't? I looked at him. Then she'll learn the hard way that I meant what I said when I left. There's no going back. Not now. Not ever. He raised his beer. I'll drink to that. We clinked bottles, and I got back to work on the truck. Because that's what I did now. I fixed things I could actually fix and let go of the things I couldn't. And her problems? Those definitely fell into the second category. The attempts got more desperate. Week 4 after the pregnancy bombshell, she started showing up places. Not at my work, security had made that clear, but places she knew I'd be. Murphy's on a Friday night. I was at the pool table with Trevor when I saw her walk in. She looked around, spotted me, and started walking over. I turned to Trevor. We're leaving. What? What? She's here. He looked over my shoulder and saw her. You want me to talk to her? No. I want to leave. Now. We walked out the back exit by the restrooms. She tried to follow, but we were already in Trevor's truck by the time she got outside. I saw her standing in the parking lot, arms wrapped around herself. Part of me felt bad. A small part. The part that remembered the woman I'd married, not the one she'd become. But feeling bad wasn't enough to make me stay. That was pathetic, Trevor said, pulling out onto the street. Yeah. How long is she going to keep this up? Until she realizes it's not working. My lawyer called the next Monday with news. Judge denied her motion to delay. Divorce will be final in 3 weeks. She can't stop it now. Good. She's also requested your contact information be provided for emergency purposes. I denied that too. Appreciated. One more thing. Her lawyer mentioned she's 4 months along now. Wanted to know if that changed anything on your end. It doesn't. That's what I told them. For months. She'd been seeing Derek before I even left. Probably during those late-night gym sessions and Target runs. The timeline made sense now. I mentioned it to Nina that evening. We were at her place, watching some cooking show she liked. For months means she was cheating before you left, she said. Yep. And now she wants you back because he bailed. Yep. She turned to look at me. Does that bother you? Knowing she was with him while you were still together? I thought about it. Honestly, no. It just confirms I made the right decision. If anything, I should have left sooner. She kissed me. I'm glad you didn't. Timing worked out pretty well from where I'm sitting. The next Friday, I got a call from an unknown number. Against my better judgment, I answered. Hello. Finally. Thank God. Her voice. I should have hung up immediately. Don't hang up. Please. Just listen for 2 minutes. I didn't say anything. Didn't encourage her. Just waited. I know I messed up. I know I said horrible things. But I was scared. Derek was texting me, telling me he missed me, and I got confused. I never actually did anything with him while we were together. I swear. Lie. The timeline didn't add up. And when you left, I was angry. So I reached out to him for comfort. That's when things happened. It was a mistake. A huge mistake. I still didn't respond. Are you there? I'm here. I'm begging you. I can't do this alone. My parents are disappointed in me. My sister won't talk to me. Derek blocked me. I have nobody. You have yourself. Figure it out. That's it. That's all you have to say. What else is there? You made choices. These are the consequences. We were married. That has to mean something. It did mean something. Until you told me your ex was better than me. That's when it stopped meaning anything. I was trying to hurt you. You succeeded. And now you're dealing with the aftermath. Not my problem. You're really not going to help me at all. Help you how? Raise another man's kid? Pretend like you didn't disrespect me in my own house. No, I'm not doing that. You're being cruel. I'm being honest. There's a difference. Lose this number. I hung up and blocked it immediately. My hands were shaking. Not from anger. From adrenaline. That was the first time I'd spoken to her in months, and it took everything in me not to say more. Not to list every single thing she'd done wrong. Not to make her feel as small as she'd made me feel. But that wasn't worth my energy. Nina called an hour later. Hey, just checking in. You seemed off earlier. My ex called. I answered like an idiot. What did she say? I gave her the summary. The excuses, the begging, the attempt to make me feel guilty. And what did you say? That her choices led to consequences and I wasn't going to fix her problems. Good. How are you feeling now? Honestly, relieved. It reminded me why I left. Every time she opens her mouth, she confirms I made the right decision. You did. And for what it's worth, I'm proud of you for not caving. Thanks. That means a lot. 2 weeks later, the divorce was finalized. Mr. Garrett called me at work with the news. It's official. You're a free man. That was faster than expected. She stopped fighting it. I think she finally realized you weren't coming back. Good. Congratulations. Go celebrate. I did. Nina and I went to a nice steakhouse that night. Nothing crazy expensive, but nicer than our usual spots. We ordered actual appetizers, got dessert, the whole deal. To new beginnings, she said, raising her glass. To new beginnings. The next day, I went to the bank and closed the joint account completely. Took my half. Left hers in a check they could mail to her. Clean break. I updated my emergency contacts at work, removing her name. Changed my address with the post office. Removed her from my insurance beneficiary. All the little administrative tasks that officially severed the connection. It felt good. Like cleaning out a closet and getting rid of clothes that didn't fit anymore. That weekend, I was in the garage working on the truck when my phone buzzed. A message from Trevor. Your ex just tried to add me on social media. Blocked her immediately. Heads up. I texted back. Thanks for the warning. She was still trying. Different angles, different approaches. But the answer would always be the same. No. Carson came out to the garage with 2 beers. Truck's looking good. Getting there. Should be running smooth in another week or 2. What are you going to do with it once it's done? Drive it. Maybe take it camping. Haven't been camping in years. Why'd you stop? She didn't like it. Said it was dirty and uncomfortable. He shook his head. Man, you really did marry the wrong person. Yeah, but at least I figured it out before it was too late. You got kids now. No kids. Then it wasn't too late. You got out clean. That's a win. He was right. I had my job, my dog, my truck project, a woman who actually respected me, and a future that was mine to shape however I wanted. My ex had her choices and their consequences, and never again would those two things intersect. 6 months after I walked out, I was sitting in my living room with Nina, scrolling through my phone when I got an email notification. Divorce finalized. Case closed. I showed Nina. She smiled. How does it feel? Like closing a book I should have put down a long time ago. My ex tried a few more times over the following weeks. New numbers, messages through mutual friends who didn't get the memo, even a letter to my parents' house. I blocked every number. Told every friend the same thing. Returned to sender on the letter, unopened. The final attempt came 2 months later. A message from her sister Angela. She had the baby. A boy. She's struggling. Still hoping you'll reconsider. I typed back once. I wish her well. But my answer hasn't changed. Please don't contact me again about this. That was it. The last communication. Nina moved in with me and Carson 3 months later. We converted the third bedroom into her office. Rookie loved having her around full time. I got promoted again at work. Assistant supervisor. For dollars more an hour and actual benefits. Started thinking about buying a house in a year or two. One Saturday morning, Nina and I were having coffee on the back porch. Rookie was chasing a squirrel around the yard. Do you ever think about her? Nina asked. Sometimes. Not in a missing her way. More like checking a scar to make sure it healed right. And did it? I looked at her. Yeah, it did. She leaned over and kissed me. Good. Because you deserve better than what she gave you. I know. That's why I left. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. I deleted it without reading. Some doors you close and lock. Some you close and walk away from. And some you close, lock, and burn the house down so there's nothing to come back to. I chose the third option, and I never looked back.